In the journey of life, we encounter various individuals and experiences that leave lasting imprints on our hearts and minds. Some people enter our lives as blessings, while others may bring challenges or difficult moments. There are moments when people exit our lives and circumstances change, leaving us with a sense of loss or confusion. But what if these departures are not mere coincidences? What if they are orchestrated by a higher power? It's a challenging and painful process, but as Christians, we find solace and guidance in the Word of God. Welcome back, dear viewers, to another episode of the Word of Life. Throughout this journey, we will draw upon relevant biblical stories and verses that shed light on this concept. From the removal of individuals who no longer serve our higher purpose to the redirection of life paths, the Bible offers rich examples that can guide us in understanding and accepting the wisdom of letting go when God is the one orchestrating the changes. So join me on this journey of faith and trust as we explore the possibility that when God removes people from your life, it is His way of telling you to let them go and accept the next chapter of His divine plan for your life. Have there ever been times in your life when you felt as though certain people or circumstances were taken away from you, leaving you feeling unsure or lost? After leaving Egypt, Abraham and his nephew Lot returned to the land of Canaan. They had acquired significant wealth, including flocks, herds, and tents. Due to the size of their households and possessions, strife arose between their herders. The land could not support both their flocks, and tensions grew. At this time, Abraham's wisdom and selflessness shine through. He decides to follow the road of peace and reconciliation, rather than getting into a contentious argument with Lot about resources. In Genesis 13, verses 8 and 9, Abraham says to Lot, "Let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left." Abraham made the correct decision by choosing to let go rather than fighting over a territory that would lead to future conflicts. Abraham was certain that God would take care of him wherever he chose to live. This confidence in God's provision gives us hope for the future. He decided to end things amicably rather than harbor hatred or act hostilely. This demonstrates the importance of resolving disputes in a way that upholds connections and fosters togetherness. You must let go and let God take care of the rest. When our souls are clouded by greed and selfishness, it is difficult to let go of some things or people. The story of Abraham and Lot reminds us that sometimes letting go of certain things or allowing others to make choices can lead to greater blessings and reaffirmations of God's promises in our lives. Isaiah 55 verses 8 and 9 states, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." While we may have specific plans or expectations, God's perspective and plans are often far superior. The verses remind us that our understanding is limited and finite, while God's wisdom is infinite and beyond our comprehension. Recognizing this humbles us, acknowledging that we don't have all the answers and that there is much we can learn from God. God's ways and thoughts are far superior to ours, similar to how the skies are higher than the earth. This example emphasizes the enormous gap between our limited human perspective and God's all-knowing insight. We are encouraged to put our trust in His greater comprehension and guidance. Even when we can't understand a situation, we can take consolation in knowing that God sees the broader picture and has a plan. We should approach life with humility, trusting in God's wisdom and guidance. While our human understanding may be limited, we can find encouragement in knowing that God's ways are higher, His thoughts are greater, and His love is unwavering. When you can't trust His hand, trust His heart, as the song goes. Romans 8 verse 28 tells us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." God may remove individuals from our lives when they are part of unhealthy or dysfunctional relationships. These removals can create opportunities for healing, growth, and restoration. People who bring toxicity, harm, or negative energy into our lives may be removed by God. This removal is often seen as a means of protecting us from detrimental influences that can hinder our well-being and personal growth. People grow and change in unexpected ways at times. When two individuals' principles, beliefs, or aspirations no longer align, God's intervention may result in a natural separation or removal from one another's life. It is believed that God may remove people who are hindering or obstructing the fulfillment of His plan for our lives. This removal can be seen as part of divine intervention to align us with His purpose. During life transitions or pivotal moments, God may orchestrate the removal of certain individuals to clear the path for new opportunities or relationships that better suit our evolving circumstances. Can you recall a specific event or circumstance in your life where you've seen God's hand working for your good, even in challenging times? The story of Gideon's army takes place during a time when the Israelites were facing oppression from the Midianites. The Israelites had a history of turning away from God, which led to their current plight. In their distress, they cried out to the Lord for help. Gideon was initially a fearful and reluctant leader who considered himself the least among his family. Throughout the story, Gideon questioned and doubted, but God assured him of His presence and guidance. This teaches us that even in moments of fear and uncertainty, God is with us. We can find encouragement in His constant presence. Gideon led a small army against a much larger opponent. God weakened Gideon's army to demonstrate His power. When confronted with trumpets and torches, Gideon and his 300 men achieved a miraculous victory by relying on God's plan. This reduction demonstrated the power of unity and reliance on God's strength. Gideon's obedience to God's commands, even when they seemed unconventional, played a crucial role in the victory over the Midianites. This encourages us to have faith and obedience in following God's guidance, even when His ways may not align with our own understanding. Sometimes God's downgrade is a significant upgrade for us. He takes our flaws and transforms them into our strengths. This inspires us to face our anxieties and concerns, knowing that God can turn our weaknesses into strengths. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." The story of Gideon and his army offers valuable lessons and encouragement, reminding us that God works through the unlikely, provides strength in times of fear, values obedience and faith, operates in His perfect timing, emphasizes unity, and leads us to victory when we rely on His intervention. It shows that our weaknesses and insecurities do not limit what God can accomplish through us when we place our trust in Him. Saul, the first king of Israel, had disobeyed God's commands, and as a result, God rejected him as king. God instructed Samuel to anoint a new king from the family of Jesse in Bethlehem. Samuel, a prophet and judge in Israel, followed God's command and went to Jesse's house. Jesse presented his sons, and Samuel saw Eliab, Jesse's eldest, and assumed he was the one God had chosen. However, God reminded Samuel that He looks at the heart, not outward appearances. God does not evaluate us based on our external appearances or the opinions of others. He examines our hearts and personalities. If God removes someone from your life, it means He sees through that person's heart and character. God's covenant with David, which promised an everlasting royal line, is a reminder of God's unchangeable promises. Furthermore, if Samuel did not listen to God and anointed the wrong king, it may have an impact on Jesus' lineage, as he derives his lineage from David. Jeremiah 29, verse 11 tells us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse is part of a letter that the prophet Jeremiah sent to the exiled Israelites in Babylon. At that time, the Israelites were in a foreign land, far from their homeland, and were likely experiencing fear, uncertainty, and a sense of displacement. It begins with the assurance that the Lord knows what He has in store for us. This emphasizes God's omnipotence and sovereignty. He has a plan and a purpose for every one of us, and He knows every detail of our lives. God's plans are for our prosperity, not harm. This includes both spiritual and material well-being. While prosperity doesn't always mean financial success, it signifies that God's intentions are ultimately for our good and flourishing. Prosperity is more than money and the accumulation of wealth. Rather, it is an ongoing condition of success that impacts every aspect of our lives. In the end, when God removes someone or something from your life, it's to make room for His divine plan. So let them go, trusting in His wisdom, love, and guidance. In closing, it's essential that we fully put our trust in God when He orchestrates the removal of individuals or circumstances from our lives. Doing so encourages us to trust in His plan and submit to His divine will. If you found this discussion inspiring and thought-provoking, please consider subscribing to our channel for more uplifting content. By subscribing, you'll stay connected with a community of individuals exploring faith, hope, and spiritual insights. Remember, your subscription not only supports our mission, but also ensures you won't miss any of our future discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey of faith, and we look forward to continuing to explore life's profound mysteries together. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated.